Yeah, my name's Matthew Dadoon. I'm a game programmer at Finish Line Games, and the topic I'm going to talk about today is self-doubt and humility. I guess it's two similar topics. But who here has played Parappa the Rapper? Yeah, considering that the theme of the talk is rhythm, I figured it's a good. I figured it's a good game to bring up. So for those of you who don't know, it's just to give a brief introduction, it's a rhythm game about this character. It's an anthropomorphic dog who tries to win the heart of an anthropomorphic flower. It's a lot less weird than it sounds. And, he basically, throughout the game, he has to overcome these challenges by listening to instructors who rap for him, and he has to repeat the verses of the raps, and by pressing the buttons on your controller, we use rap samples. It wasn't I bring this up because it was the first game I ever played, and I figured it really resonates with me. I'm going to describe how. It was created by this guy Masaya Matsura, who was Japanese. He didn't start as a game developer. He started in J-pop, and he was part of a team in Sony Computer Entertainment, the Japan studios. They were allowed to do whatever the hell they wanted, and because this guy had a background in J-pop and making music, he wanted to create a game where you could remix rap samples by pressing buttons on the controller, which sounds fun until he realized you can't use existing rap samples, which is why he created original rap samples for this game. So they did all the recording in New York, which is kind of unusual for a Japanese game. But it was a classic, and it spawned. It spawned a couple sequels, and I recently actually replayed the trilogy, just out of nostalgia. You kind of get that mood sometimes. So just a brief overview. 1996 there was Parappa the Rapper. 1999 was another game, Emblematic, which is a spin-off game featuring a different character who plays the guitar, and then a direct sequel, Parappa the Rapper 2. And this developer, Nana Onsha, is pretty much responsible for the modern rhythm game genre. They pretty much, they did, like I said, they didn't make the first rhythm game, but they set the standard for a lot of the features that we come to know in rhythm games, such as a style meter. So we did in Guitar Hero, that was Parappa the Rapper. The type of UI that you see on a lot of rhythm games, where you have to press the right button at the right time. And this other game that they developed in between Emblematic and Parappa the Rapper 2, Vid Ribbon was another rhythm game where it was completely drawn, all the graphics are with a single line. It's completely vector graphics, black and white. Completely really interesting. But one of the cool features about it was you could actually put a CD that you had and put it inside your PlayStation, and it generated an original level. So that was also before it was on here. So that's a brief history lesson, I guess. I guess I'm just gonna talk about part of the narrative of it. So throughout the game, Parappa, he's always running into these situations. He crashes his dad's car, and he has to make up the money but he doesn't know. He's like, oh shit, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So he always has the phrase, you gotta believe it's really cheesy, I know, but it's this phrase actually resonates with me more because now that I'm an adult and I've been through some dark times, it's I kind of look back at it as a really motivational sort of game, because throughout the game, it's the same episodic scenario. Parappa gets into a problem, he has to overcome it, and then his solution is you gotta believe. That's the narrative of it. Another game I'd also like to bring up, which I think is actually pretty more interesting. I hadn't actually played on Emblematic, which is the sequel to Parappa the Rapper. This character, Lammy, she's completely shy. She has no self-confidence at all until she grabs the guitar, and she's just like a rock star. She's super confident. So throughout the game, she's always running into these problems. But the way she overcomes it is she puts the guitar in her head. So for example, she has to put a baby to sleep. Just out of context, I'm not going to describe the whole context. She has to put a baby to sleep, so she plays the baby like a guitar. It's like, oh yeah, like those are my lines. So that's you kind of need that like bullshit catalyst in your head, where it's like you need to do that thing that makes you feel like a rock star, kind of like Laney. And it's pretty motivational, just to get that catalyst. So yeah, I guess I'm just going to talk a little bit about some of my experiences. So when I graduated April 2021, I started at a company called Say-So Communications. I was working there for about 10 weeks, and I was doing some coding in Unity, and after that I was working part-time doing some quality assurance, and I was there for a pretty long time. I was there for like 7 or 8 months, and I was actually like questioning like whether like game development was for me, and I kind of made it in January 2022. I made it a goal of mine to learn Unreal Engine, like to push myself, and because I've been pretty familiar with Unity, but I was like, like I need to learn something new. I need to push myself and go beyond what I know I'm capable of. So I learned Unreal, and then in March of 2022, I was working at a company, Pixel by Pixel Studios. They made Marbles on Stream, and for those I worked there for a couple months, and me saying it in a very nice way just didn't work out. It was pretty much hell working there. Don't get me wrong, the people were really, really nice, and it was a great experience, and I loved working, like, I loved getting a challenge myself. It was just, like, it was a little too much. I managed to stick with it, but yeah, in June, I was just like, okay, you know what? Like, rather than going like, okay, like, game development isn't for me, I doubled down, and I took those extra steps to study in my free time, such as taking like Tom Lumen course, learning some of the Unreal standards. Oh, I almost okay. Yeah, and then I ended up working at Finish Line Games. Shoutouts to Ben. And sorry, I promise I'll wrap up soon. Basically, like, another thing that I find interesting about the Parappa the Rapper games is they reward. One thing I didn't know about it was they reward freestyling. So you can hit a button at the right time, but you'll actually get more points if you like freestyle it and you kind of remix it in your own way. And I kind of think that's like emblematic of part of the game's themes. Is you can follow like exactly what the instructor says and repeat the exact same button presses, but coming up with your own style, like you need to kind of you need to come up with your own style. You can't just copy exactly what other people are doing. That's how you really succeed, at least I think. Another quote I just want to bring up, quote my dad taught me. I was basically, like, just to give some more motivation, basically, like, I was kind of worried, like, everyone was judging me, and like, oh, I'm not fit for this, or like, oh, I'm weak, but it's like, it really, like, the words that I always repeat in my head, it's kind of silly. It's just nobody gives a shit, and it's true, because nobody really does give a shit. Like, if you really think about it, like, we're all less secure about ourselves than we are, like, judging other people, and we kind of have to, yeah, so I guess I want to round this out by saying, like, so similar to Masaya Matsura, who first developed Parappa the Rapper, Parappa, Lammy, and like also me first playing Parappa the Rapper, just struggling and just wanting to break my controller because it was so hard. We all need to take that first step, go beyond, and really just believe in ourselves. And the two quotes I always put in my head are, "You gotta believe" from Parappa the Rapper, and also "Nobody gives a shit."